What's going on, Del Val? This is Elijah DeVore with Hugh. Oh, man, I messed up your name. My fault. Oh, shit.
It's all good. This is our first recording.
Oh, okay.
So there's no hard feelings whatsoever. Heff and Elijah. It's hard to pronounce. It is very hard to pronounce. I'll give you that.
No, it's so simple, man. Come on. But we have a good show. We're going to be talking some sports, some football, some basketball, some baseball. So let's start with baseball because it's your favorite sport. So
it just so happens to be. Now, if you people of Del Val don't know, MLB playoffs started October. It's the best time of the year. Personal opinion. Mm-hmm. No one needs to agree with me. But starting on Tuesday, we had the Orioles and Blue Jays. Fantastic game, and I hoped that the Orioles would come out on top. But unfortunately, they were not able to do that. It was a really good game. It was exciting until I think it was the bottom of the 11th. They had a walk-off 3-run home run, which ripped the hearts out of everyone in the room that was watching it with me, but that's all right. But I know the Orioles both are a good team, and either one could have taken that game. Then the next day we had the Mets and the Giants. Now, I was pulling for the Giants all the way because one of our coaches at Delva actually used to play in the Giants organization. Oh, wow. So we would hear like stories about a couple of guys on the team, and it was just really cool insight to just hear about the guys. And, especially Bumgarner. He told us a lot of stories about Bumgarner, who happened to be pitching that day. And that man is just he's the men among boys, if you want to say that, especially in the playoffs. He ended up shutting out the Mets in 9 innings through like 115 pitches and didn't even look like he broke a sweat. On the opposite side, the Mets pitcher, Noah Syndergaard, he put on a show too. But he had to come out after 8 innings, and in the 9th inning, the Mets brought their closer in, Jeurys Familia, and he's notorious for blowing saves in big spots. Unfortunately, especially in the playoffs. He led the National League in saves this year, but
he folded?
Yeah. He folded big time in a big spot, which I'm sad to say I'm glad he did, because I'm glad the Giants won. Now, yesterday on Thursday, we had 2 games. The 4:30 game was the Blue Jays and the Rangers. Since the Blue Jays won on Tuesday, they got to play the Rangers today. And the Blue Jays put on a offensive show. They beat them 10-1. Cole Hamels, unfortunately, for all you Phillies fans out there, started the game for the Rangers and gave up 7 runs. So he did not do too well, unfortunately. I know everyone in Philadelphia was pulling for him to do well, but that's all right. He'll be pitching another day, and he'll do just fine. He just had a lot of control problems, and the Blue Jays' offense is tough to face, especially for a left-handed pitcher with all their right-handed bats.
Well, we just started the playoffs, so just
and exactly, like it's game 1, and these series are 5 games, so anything can happen. You look at the Golden State Warriors; they blew themselves a 3-1 lead. So forget. The one thing that I've learned through watching and playing baseball or sports in general is once you get to the playoffs or the big dance, a lot of people call it, anything can happen. No matter who you are, you're all there for a reason. You're all in the playoffs because you're good. So anything can happen. Yeah. And then I think it was the 8 o'clock game was the Indians and the Red Sox. And me personally, I'm not a Red Sox fan by any stretch of the imagination. I was pulling for the Indians just for the city of Cleveland, because they haven't had a major championship 50 years until a couple months ago when the Cavaliers won. Yep. So I've personally, in my heart, I want the Indians to win just for Cleveland, but I don't know if they'll be able to do it just because of all the other competition
I'm not gonna lie,
in the playoffs.
Boston looks pretty stacked.
But I was watching the game last night, and they just did pull out a win 5-4 They were home, so they had to Cody Allen had to come in and shut the door. That was a really good game. They were just hitting. I think there were at least 4 or 5 home runs hit between both teams, so it was a pretty exciting game. And then today, I believe, I think there are 4 games today, actually. It's the start of the National League Division Series and the American League Division Series continue. Like the Red Sox, Indians, Blue Jays, Rangers also play today, along with Dodgers, Nationals, and Giants, Cubs. Now I could dive into that a little bit.
Do you think Chicago's going to win?
Now, everyone's pulling for them.
Yeah.
And I respect the Cubs a lot. I like them. I like their chances are so high that everyone's pulling for them that I want to say that they're going to win, but I don't know. Because, last year they kind of choked in the playoffs and everyone thought they were going to do well. But I feel like this year they are a little better just because of their record and everything. So, but again, you can never count out the Giants because everyone has that even year theory. They started in 2012 and won in 2010, 2012, 2014. It's 2016. Can they do it on another even year at the 4th go around? I don't know. You just can never count the Giants out, especially with their pitching staff. They got Bumgarner, who will, like he did in the American League Series, he'll come in and shut you out no matter how good you are.
Yeah.
But the Cubs have a good pitching staff too, so it's a tough one. It's too early to tell.
Yeah.
I'd like to see how the Cubs do tonight, and then maybe next week I'll come back with a real opinion.
Any early predictions for the World Series yet? Or?
World Series. Hold on, give me a second. I want to say. Indians Cubs.
Really?
Yes, but the Red Sox are. Again, it's one game, and they lost by a run. It could go either way. And the Blue Jays are really smacking people around, but I don't like the Blue Jays, so I'm not putting it in there. So I think as of right now, I'm putting the Cubs in there. It's going to be Cubs, Indians. There's like a 10% chance that's right. But
hey, man. I thought the Panthers to win in the Super Bowl. I go back to the Super Bowl. It's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, I thought, especially flashing back to that game, I thought that I didn't think the Broncos had much of a chance because I love Peyton Manning.
Yeah,
but he was shot and
he was.
It's like putting out a 50-year-old dude out there. He can't run, he can barely throw.
Yeah, but with that defense, the defense really held.
That's
it
the
down,
thing.
So.
That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing Manning had was his brain, and
he had some good quality receivers.
And that also does it, and his pass blocking and everything. But that defense especially. And now I feel like that was almost the turn. We don't have to go off topic too much, but I feel like that was almost the turning point for the Panthers as a team. Because do you know their record this year? I know they've lost at least one game.
Let me see. The Panthers are. Oh, where are they? Well, I know they're doing terrible. I'm pretty sure they're 1-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, where are they? I don't even see them up.
See, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
If they won, because I know sports is much more of a mental thing than everyone makes them out to be. Yep. Yeah, they're 1-3.
1-3. Wow.
Sports is a much more mental thing than everyone makes them out to be. If they won that game, the Super Bowl, they would come into this year on their high horse, thinking that we're the best team, whatever. since they lost, they're out. They're mad. They're pissed off. Like, they're coming out every game to try and prove that
they're still the Panthers.
They're still the Panthers when, really, if you're playing a game to prove something, then I'd say you're not really focused on winning the game. You're focused on keeping a reputation more.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. That's just how I feel. Yeah, if they won that Super Bowl, I don't think they'd be a 1-3 team right now, just for the sheer mental fact of everything.
Okay.
And then the Broncos are doing fairly well this year. I know they beat 4-0 fairly well. They're undefeated. Stupid me.
No,
and with a rookie quarterback.
A lot of rookie quarterbacks have exploded this year.
They're just putting
Carson
on this
Wentz, year. Was it Seisman? His name is.
Simeon,
wow,
something. I know how to spell it. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, but getting on to football, actually, we'll talk about. Let's start with the AFC East, actually, because I hate this team more than anything. So that man Tom Brady's back, and he got a 3-1 record. So they got a 3-1 record without him. So what does that tell you about this Patriots team without Tom Brady?
See, that's the thing. Like, I've heard a lot of things about, like, I mean, yes, they got shut out by Buffalo?
Yeah, they got shut down by Buffalo, yeah.
Okay, so that's something to think about. But you look at it, they were 3-0 with Garoppolo and Brissett.
I think his name,
something like that. Like, what does that do when you think about the reputation of Tom Brady? Like, it's the same team, just without their quarterback, and they went 3-1. Like, I've heard a lot of people say that you could plug almost any quarterback into that system, and they would win. And I mean, I feel like that's how Belichick does it. It just so happens that Tom Brady was the one he picked, and he excelled in that system his whole life. So.
Well, when you have such a stout defense as the Patriots do, and a running game, because you see LeGarrette Blount has been doing his thing. I think he's like in the top 5 when it comes to running backs in the league right now. That's how it should have been, because without your star quarterback, it's just, you know what, we're going to implement these guys in. We're not going to let them throw too much, but we're going to give them their shots. And when they got their shots, they actually took them, and they benefited from those shots. So I feel as though the Patriots are going to make a huge run in the playoffs, maybe even go to the Super Bowl. This is kind of scary because I don't want to see another Super Bowl. No, I can't. I don't have the mental capacity for it.
It's like the last, my whole life, the Patriots have been good.
It's such oh my goodness.
My 20 years on this earth, there was never a year where everyone was like, Patriots aren't good this year.
Exactly.
Like,
even when Tom Brady broke his ankle, they were still like, they weren't terrible, were they? They were like they had a winning record, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like that to me just shows you how good Belichick is, how smart that man is. Like,
you have to credit him, but you have to credit the team also, because I mean you have to buying into that. It's probably a pain in the neck, because Bill Belichick's not going to play any games, but with the Bills, I was actually really happy with the Bills beating the Patriots at their home stadium, because Patriots haven't lost in their home stadium since how long?
And then I'd love to hear how many games it's been since they've been shut out too. That's probably another stat somewhere.
Exactly. So I feel like when it comes to this, I feel like it's going to be mainly a battle between the Bills and the Patriots to see who, at the end of the season, we'll see which one's on top. But it's probably going to be those two.
Yeah, because I feel like the Bills are a emerging team. I don't think they're going to be.
They're not going to be anything yet, but we should get they'll make some push. But
they could. I think. I mean, even because they'll play the Patriots again. I mean, I feel like they could give them a run for their money down the road, unless Tom Brady was absolutely off one day and the revenge of Brady after getting shut out.
Exactly.
That you never know. You can never ever count them out. Ever. No matter. I don't care if Tom Brady's 50 years old. He
can still
thrown with his left hand. Like he could still somehow win a football game.
By all means, yeah. And with the other two teams at the bottom of the Jets and the Dolphins, both at 1-3. So, to be honest, I feel like the Dolphins are just an entire train wreck. I mean, they do have Javaris Landry, who has been, balling out, but Ryan Tannehill's just been a mess recently. So, I don't really give him that much. I'd say, keep playing with him, but, maybe try to implement more of a run game. The defense is getting exposed a lot, so there's a lot of problems with that team. The Jets, I feel like the Jets actually are a quality team.
Yeah.
But there's just things, like they've just lost in, certain situations. Because Fitzpatrick and Marshall are just they're just a beautiful tandem in this league. So they'll make a push too, I think, actually. I take that back. But the Dolphins, no.
No, Dolphins, no. And, I mean, the Jets, like you said, I feel like they have the potential to be a good team, but, like,
it's the Jets.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you explain it. Like, it's just the Jets. And they have the Bills and the Patriots in front of them. I mean, again,
and those are not easy games, man. Those are really not easy games.
Not at all. I mean, I feel like the Jets defense is decent.
Yeah, yeah.
And Fitzpatrick holds his own, but eventually, I mean, what has he been in the year? 14 years?
Yeah, and he has he has an aging receiver too with Brandon Marshall, and to be honest, that's his main target. He's just going to throw the ball. He's just going to hey, chuck it and just give him a shot. But what's going to happen when we start double covering him? I mean, you have Eric Decker. Yeah, you have there's another guy's name, but still, I feel like I'm not sure. But
I just feel like
there's a lot of unanswered questions when it comes to the Jets.
Exactly, and they just need a quarterback, like someone young, like someone that you can bring in other than whatever his name is from West Virginia, Geno Smith.
Yeah, he just got his spot taken.
Yeah,
I feel bad, but I mean that's how the league works.
Yeah, it's oh well. Yeah, I mean if you can't hold your own, then you don't have a spot.
Speaking of not holding your own, though, we're going to move to the AFC North, and the Browns, 0-4. They are not. They are not holding their own right now.
But I forget what it is. But at least two of the games that they lost, they could have easily won if they weren't the Browns. Like
they weren't the Browns.
I don't know how to explain it.
I understand.
They just. I forget. I was watching the one game. The last couple minutes. The last couple minutes of the third quarter. And they were just driving down the field, looking fine, up by might have been up by 10 or something. And this might have been last week. And they're just driving down, and they throw a pick. And it's game over. That's just how it is for the Browns.
Literally every time.
Because they have... And then they lost. What was it? The one game they went into overtime, and
I'm not
sure. They deferred. They won the toss, and they gave the ball to the other team
because they have faith in their defense.
Are you trying to lose the game? Are you kidding me?
Where I think they are. I mean, they've been losing since our grandparents were alive. So I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I cannot. No. I can't remember a year where the Browns were good either. Yeah. And I feel like RG3 might have been able to help him out a little bit, but again, he's
just injury bug. Man. Yeah, that's such a shame because he's such a good quarterback, a good athlete.
He's a great talent.
Yeah.
It's
a shame to see something like that
just be shot down by injury.
Exactly. But we're looking at the Bengals. They're at 2-2 right now, sitting at third place. They're going to be a shock in this league, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Andy Dalton, you have a great running game with Bernard. You have Green at receiver. Is Tyler Eifert still there? Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think he's banged up a little bit, but yeah, he'll be there down the stretch. Yeah,
exactly. And you have a very good defense, so don't count the Bengals out. I wouldn't count the Bengals out yet, but when you look at the first two, the Ravens and the Steelers, I mean, they've just been doing their thing, and the Steelers got Le'Veon Bell back.
Yep.
So now the team's a little more complete, and it's a little more it's dangerous to see how many options he has.
Yeah.
Big Ben is just he can throw it to Le'Veon, he can give the ball to D'Angelo Williams when he comes in, he can give it to Matavius Bryant's still there, correct? Is Matavius Bryant still there?
I think he
got traded, didn't he?
He was suspended for the first 4 games. He hasn't played because I think it was suspension.
Jesus,
I believe
the Steelers. Yeah, that's their one fault. They get suspended, but I mean, hey,
still, like they still got so many weapons.
Exactly. It's
And again, if everyone remembers last year in the playoffs, the Bengals had the Steelers on the ropes, and all Burfict had to do, the middle linebacker Vontaze Burfict, was to just let Antonio Brown go, not hit him in the head. But no, hit him in the head. I mean, 15 yards, and they kicked the field goal and walked off winners. Like that's but that just shows how good the Bengals are. Like they can beat the Steelers. They can
hang with these teams, yeah.
Absolutely, they can beat. And I don't know how the Ravens are 3-1.
The Ravens, to be honest with you, I don't know either. But you know what? I'm not going to doubt the people in B-More. You know, they're doing their thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, AFC South.
Ooh, that's just an ugly division.
Jaguars, Titans, Colts. Now the Colts are shocking me because they're
1-3.
Yeah, I don't know what happened because back a couple of years, you rewind a couple of years ago, Andrew Luck and the Colts were doing their thing. They were a playoff contending team.
Yeah, Andrew Luck was just carrying the team.
Exactly, and now it just looks as though he can't even get it. Like he can't get any luck. He's just screwed. And the Texans, as expected, doing what they're supposed to be doing, even though they do not have J.J. Watt. Yeah,
that's a big loss, man.
It really is, but that defense in general, you still have Brian Cushing, you still have
still
Clowney.
solid.
I mean, still a good defense. So, I mean, they're holding it down, but how long is...
I think he might be done for the year. Because, J.J. Watt is
he's a
he's big dude, and he's very optimistic, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And he was saying he wants to come back, but the doctors are
not
because I think it's a back injury, so you got to be careful with those, especially
as D lineman.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they said he's out for the year, but I think if they make a playoff push, he's definitely going to try and play.
Yeah, I feel you.
So I don't know. I just wish him the best. I hope he comes back. If the Texans do make the playoffs, I hope he comes back in time for the playoff game because him out of anyone on that team deserves to play in the playoffs. And
he really
put on a show for Texas.
But all right, the middle teams, the Jaguars and the Titans.
Yeah.
Both have pretty good quarterbacks in Blake Bortles and Marcus Mariota, but
they just haven't been performing.
I mean, it's more of their defense that seems to be the problem now.
Yeah, so the Jags have good wideouts, definitely, and
the Titans have a great running game. Yeah. So the problem isn't their offense at this moment; it's more of just getting exposed. Their defense getting exposed.
Yep.
So how do you think they're going to be able to turn that around? It's still early in the season, so they do have a chance. So what do you think they need to do?
I don't know, man. I mean, if you look at that division, it's just look at the division. I don't even know what to say. Everyone's offense is decent.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you look, the one with the best defense is on top.
Exactly,
obviously, that's usually what happens. So I feel like, especially in divisional matchups, the Texans automatically have the upper hand just because of their defense, even though they're starting. I'm pretty sure they're still starting Osweiler at quarterback.
Yep, they're still starting him.
So, I mean, and with the mediocrity of everyone else's defense, I mean, I feel like the Texans will be able to handle anyone in that division. So But yeah, if the Jags and Titans want to turn it around, it'll definitely be from that defense.
I feel like Jacksonville deserves it because Jacksonville. Come on, how long is Jacksonville? Yeah. Jacksonville is like the Browns of
basically. Again, I can't remember in my 20 years on this earth. Can't remember a year where Jacksonville was expected to win.
Yeah,
expected to win anything.
That's such a shame. But the AFC West, you have the Broncos, the Raiders, Chiefs, and the Chargers. Chargers are 1-3, which is kind of a shock. Yep. Seeing how well they're doing.
Yeah.
Because when you watch them playing, it's not like they're getting blown out. It's not like they have a terrible offense. They have Antonio Gates. They still have Phillip Rivers playing. They did lose Danny Woodhead though, which was a main part.
That's a big loss. I know. I think I was watching the one Chargers game and they just listed everyone who was hurt, and it's just like
injury
all starters, all starters like that. That to me, that's their biggest problem is staying on the field.
That's how it works sometimes.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But the Raiders look like they're going to be
Raiders. Raiders are something to be reckoned with.
In a couple of, I won't give it this year because the Broncos is just too real right now.
Yeah.
But give it a year or two.
Absolutely.
I think this team is going. I think the Raiders are going to be making more of a push because you have the receiving core. Derek Carr is becoming. He's going to be a star.
Yeah,
I really do feel
he's a stud. He really is a stud. The running back. I don't know how to pronounce his first name, but Murray.
DeMarco Murray, is it? No.
Latavius?
Oh, Latavius. Okay,
Is it Latavius? Yeah, Latavius Murray. He's good. And then their defense is just good as well. But the Broncos' defense is elite.
Even better.
Yeah, is elite. Now, the Chiefs and Mr. Andy Reid. Again, I feel like they could be another good team. They have a lot of potential. They have Alex Smith, who's a quality quarterback. I believe they have Macklin. I think he's on the field. Yeah. He might be hurt. You never know.
They still got Kelsey.
Kelsey, yep. All those guys.
So, I mean, and let's we have to, stress this that it's still early in the season. So we really don't know where this will go because, there are a lot of winnable games that you just lose like the Giants did. So it's still crying. But to talk about that, the NFC East.
Hey.
Okay, so the Giants are in last place with 2-2, losing to the Redskins last week. The Redskins are 2-2 also, but they still have that tiebreaker. The Cowboys 3-1, and the Eagles 3-0. I did not think it was going to be like this. I have to talk with Harry a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about this, and this is honestly the exact opposite of what what I thought was going to happen. The Carson Wentz, has he even thrown an interception yet?
Nope. All aboard the Wentz wagon, baby. He's the man.
He's balling. I don't know how to explain it.
He's a stud. That's how you explain it. He's a stud.
He's just a stud. Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott, now they're actually looking like a tandem to be reckoned with.
Yeah. Dak Prescott is also a stud.
He really is.
So,
but now I have a question for you because I need to know.
Oh, God.
So, if Tony Romo comes back... When does Tony Romo come back?
I think his return is set for week 8 against the Eagles. So
that's some time.
See, again,
if Dak continues to do what he is doing, I don't see a problem.
I don't know how you pull him.
You can't.
I don't know how you pull him.
This has to be a whole Bledsoe, Tom Brady situation all over again.
Exactly. I can't think of a scenario, but that was a good scenario. There have been others. I can't think of them, but. Yeah, you're exactly right. How do you pull Prescott, especially if he's leading your team with a 3-1 record through the first 4 games? How do you pull the man?
Well, granted, with a team like that, I'm not even going to lie. The Cowboys are a pretty quality team. They have the best offensive line in the league.
Exactly.
Without a doubt, the best offensive line.
Exactly.
They have one of the best receivers in the league in Des Bryant, even though he's... isn't he?
I think he's a sprained knee, something like that. So he'll be back again, too.
And, don't count out the other receivers. Cole Beasley did very well. Has been doing very well this entire...
That man is so sneaky. That man is so sneaky, and I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate it so much. He's a little slot receiver that everyone forgets about.
Oh, yeah, I love them.
Can't stand it.
So... The Redskins, they finally got a breath of fresh air beating the Giants. And we're going to talk about this, and this is going to be depressing, but we got to talk about it. So, the game was amazing. I felt like the game was very... Actually, you know what? No, as a Giants fan, you should be upset if you're a Giants fan with this team. I'm not going to even lie to you, because I took offense to how the Giants seemed to just give up when you had them... You had your foot on their throat, and you just let them up and let them take advantage of you. You're the Giants are the reason why they lost. Because you can't. I'm not going to say that the Redskins are a quality team and they're not good, but when you have that, when you were they were mauling them in the first quarter. The running game was the running game was even good, and with the Giants, when the running game's good, the whole day should be good. But no, it didn't work out. Odell didn't show up until the third, fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also contributed to the fact that he was being double covered all the time, because
that never helps.
Yeah, it really never helps. But that should have been the point in time in which you should have, where you should have targeted, Victor Cruz or Sterling. Sterling Shepard or your tight ends. But, speaking of tight ends, William Tye, oh my goodness. So, Eli, did you see the pick, where the one-handed pick? So, Eli Manning throws the ball into the end zone, William Tye goes to the ball, he half-asses it. And I am, as a Giants fan, I'm just sick because, first of all, if you're not even gonna go for the ball, at least make sure no one catches it, and at least make sure someone doesn't catch it with one hand. I mean, he just looked and watched it happen, and that was really the changing point in that game. So the Giants need to play, and you know what? No, after that, then they get embarrassed like that by the Vikings. I don't know what happened to the Vikings.
Yeah,
because they were expected to be trash after Teddy Bridgewater and Adrian Peterson went down. But now
Sammy Sleeves, baby.
Sam Bradford.
Sammy Sleeves. He just comes into Minnesota and puts it on.
What happened?
See, now that's the thing that makes me think that the Eagles, me being an Eagles fan, had two good options,
and they just
sitting there. And I don't know if they lucked out with Wentz or Peterson's a genius, and he's like, Wentz is ready, put him in.
Yeah, I think that they're both great. They're both great quarterbacks. However, it's more like Carson Wentz probably actually. You know what? I'm not even gonna lie. Sam Bradford is actually. His passing game, because you don't have that much of a running game now without Adrian Peterson. I mean, you have Asiata, but I mean, he's not going to be like pulling off 100-yard games like AP does. So it's like he's relying on Stephon Diggs. So I think that Carson Wentz still hasn't thrown a pick. So I mean they're both quality choices. As you said.
Seeing how the Vikings are doing at sitting at 4-0, and if how Bradford's been doing. I mean, he sat week 1 just because he had to learn the system and everything.
Yeah.
But seeing how well he's doing, I feel like he could have done the same exact thing in Philadelphia.
Probably.
They're running a tradition. Philadelphia is running a traditional offense. And I feel like Bradford could excel, and he is excelling very well in another traditional offense. Like that. See, that's where coaching comes into play, especially with Chip Kelly. Like that system was not set up for Bradford.
Yeah.
And last year he looked like a deer in the headlights half the games. Like,
and now it shows you how like just even a change of scenery, even a change of like coaching, it does wonders. And Sam Bradford is now relevant since how long? I mean, when was the last time you actually cared about Sam Bradford?
Yeah, exactly.
When he hurt his ACL for the first time?
Yeah.
I mean, after that you were just like.
It was like,
he hurt again.
And then he hurt again. He didn't play professional football for 2 years.
Exactly.
And then, he didn't really hear about him again. And then all of a sudden, trade him to Philadelphia.
You know what? Good job for Sam Bradford.
Oh, absolutely. Hats off to him. He's doing well for himself. Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, God. It was about Bradford. I don't know. But he was... Yeah, good for him. He's just doing his thing in Minnesota. Now, Wentz. If you really want me to get into Wentz,
let's talk about Wentz, baby. Let's talk about Wentz. He's
just a man. I don't know what to say.
I feel like there's a little bias here, but
absolutely. I'm leaning way towards the Eagles here.
Oh, I feel
he just looks. Compared to what we saw last year with Bradford in Chip Kelly's system, he did not look relaxed at all. And I kind of was going to say this before, that's not his fault. You put him in a system where he's not comfortable, he's not going to excel.
Yeah.
That's true for any sport. But Wentz just has this demeanor about him when he's in the pocket, in the huddle, just calm, just you can't tell if he's upset, happy, sad. He's very mature, and I think a lot of people would agree that he's very mature for his age and his experience status in the league as a rookie. I mean, he was drafted just a couple months ago, and now he's the biggest story in the league.
Exactly. It's it's a testament to show how this might be just a new breath of air for the Philadelphia Eagles, because come on, when was the last time you guys had a decent quarterback? And Michael Vick when he was doing his thing?
Exactly.
So it's the first time in a while that the NFC East actually had quality quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
But, we're starting to see, mistakes. We're starting to see Eli Manning folding a little bit from time to time. But, other than that, I feel like this, with the NFC East, though, no matter what year it is, no matter who is playing, no matter, how many, good players you have, it's a show because it's so unpredictable because the Redskins won last year.
Yeah, exactly.
The Eagles hold it down sometimes. The Cowboys never win, but the Giants. Yeah. So, I feel like now more than ever, this NFC East division is going to be a huge hotspot when it comes to unpredictability. Yeah, because I feel like every other division looks kind of set, but with this,
you never know, man.
Oh, never.
Like you said, the Redskins just made a run at the end of last year with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
and they were hot. Anybody can make a run. The Eagles could tank, and the Giants could just win out.
But we'll see what happens.
It's a low possibility.
It's all about scheduling it.
Exactly, and no one's. What divisional game happened? Redskins, Giants have happened.
Giants beat the Cowboys in week 1.
Okay. Yeah.
Did the Eagles play the Cowboys?
No, the Eagles played the Browns, the Steelers, and another team not in that division. I forget who it was.
I thought they played the Redskins, though.
Did they play their...
Maybe
they played the Redskins. Jeez, I forget.
Yeah.
I'm a horrible Eagles fan.
Yeah, that's fine.
I watch all the games, I just forget.
Oh, man, hey, it's all good, but... Switching, let's go to the NFC North. Actually, well, we already talked about the Vikings, but the other 3 teams in the league in that division are the Bears and the Lions, both 1-3, both having terrible starts.
Yeah,
but do not sell those 2 teams short because they do have weapons, but it's just they're getting exposed, man.
Yeah.
The defense is getting exposed.
The Eagles played the Bears. That's who it was.
The Eagles played the Bears.
It was Browns. It was Browns, Bears, Steelers.
Yeah, it was. I remember that game.
And the Bears, even with Jay Cutler, they just look flat.
They lost sometimes. Yeah, it's just a shame. And the Packers, the Packers are going to
2-1.
Packers are always good, and we'll see how they do against the Giants, which is coming on Sunday, which is going to be kind of scary. Because Aaron Rodgers and that oh God. But I feel like that is going to be the game of the week, really.
Yeah, that's a big game for the Giants.
Because if the Giants lose, you might as well call. You don't have to call it, but still, that's a huge momentum shift because everyone's like, you know what? Now let's just pounce on them because the Giants can't do that. They can't pounce.
In that same division, the Eagles have the Lions this week. So
okay,
that's
a dub. If they lose to the Lions, they deserve to lose that.
Because see, this is how it is being an Eagles fan, and I'm sure you can relate.
I know.
Being a Giants fan, it's you're going great, and then all of a sudden you play a team like the Lions, and you tank. You look like you've never played professional football before, or flag football for that matter. But they haven't really, knock on wood, they haven't shown any signs of flattening out.
They put the Pittsburgh Steelers down. And that's saying something. When you can put a quality team, granted they didn't have Le'Veon Bell, but still to put down a quality team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Eagles deserve a lot of credit for that. It's not even you can't even say, oh, it's just hype now. We got to take into account this team is here. This team is ready to play.
Because they played what. Everyone was talking about the power rankings. The first week, Browns dead last.
Yeah.
Second week, Bears second dead last. Third week, Steelers, who were top 5.
Yeah.
And everyone's before the game, they're how are they going to do? How are they going to do?
Yeah, this is pretty much the deciding game for Carson Wentz.
And they smacked them. Huh? They absolutely smacked them. Which was it was the greatest.
I bet you were happy. I was shocked. I remember my jaw just dropped. I walked into the room. I was like, oh.
I was just as shocked as you.
I was like, Carson, why'd you have to do them like that?
It
wasn't even fair.
It was. See, it would have been a completely different story if they played them close, if they won on a last-second field goal or lost on a last-second field goal.
But this was just
yeah, that's great.
Oh man!
All right, we don't have to talk about the Eagles anymore.
It's all good, man. It's all good. But One thing before I go off, I need to just say something about the Giants because I need to say this.
Go ahead.
They need to just show out. They just need to be like they have no excuses of losing to teams that aren't good. Like I'm not saying like they should be winning. They should have a 12-4 record.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I believe they should be because they can't have any more excuses. You have the defense. You have a quality offense, but they still find ways to screw themselves over because they are the Giants. Because they can never win a game. They can never win a game just blowing a team out. When was the last time you saw a Giants team blow somebody out?
Yep.
It's always been a close game. That's why Eli Manning is like. Everyone's like, yeah, Eli Manning's one of the most clutch quarterbacks in the league. It's because they don't do anything in the first 3 quarters. He has no choice. So that aggravates me more than anything as a Giants fan because it's like, you guys have the talent. You have the receivers. You have the running backs. You have all of this. And yet we still have to win close games with teams that shouldn't have to be like, it shouldn't be close with. It bothers me.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got some of the 2 best wideouts in all of football.
Victor Cruz did fall off, but
yeah,
I mean, give him some time. I feel like you know what? If it's not this year, hopefully it's next year because then they'll have like that
draft
more of a mesh, because Victor Cruz. I mean, he's been out for like what 2-3 years. Now it's Odell's team. It's more like Odell's league now. Because remember back in like before Cruz got hurt, this was Cruz's world, and everyone loved him. So. Yeah. Hopefully he can get back, but done with the Giants right now. I can't talk about them because it hurts my heart. So the NFC South, we have the Falcons, the Buccaneers, the Panthers, and the Saints. Saints are 1-3, Panthers 1-3, Buccaneers 1-3, and the Falcons 3-1.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it's the Falcons. This is the Falcons' year because you know what? They exposed the Panthers defense.
Oh, yeah, that was ugly. That was ugly.
Julio just put him down, and I guess I'm not the biggest Josh Norman fan because of obvious reasons, but it shows you how good he is because he shut Julio down last year, and now he goes for like 300 yards. What?
That's unheard of.
That is insane.
I think I saw something on like SportsCenter's Instagram or something. Julio is only the 6th receiver in NFL history to go for 300 yards in a game.
That's something because I mean what is this probably like Brady Moss, Terrell Owens.
Somebody needs to get fired. Some D-backs some D-backs coach just lost their job because of that.
I feel like a D-back just lost his job because I think it was Coleman every time just getting exposed. I mean he was getting beat up on a lot, but now it's just. What are the Panthers are stuck right now?
Granted, Julio Jones is a fantastic receiver.
Yeah.
But still, like you got to continue.
If you hold a team like that, if you hold somebody like that, you're right. I'll give it to you because you don't have Josh Norman, man. That's what happens when you don't want to pay the players the big bucks, I guess.
I think Norman even said that.
Yeah, he did.
He's like, you get what you pay for. When asked about being like. What was he signed? He was signed by the Redskins over the Panthers. When asked about that, he's like, you get what you pay for. Yeah. And he's right.
You do get what you pay for, I guess. I mean, actions talk. So, the Buccaneers are playing the Panthers this week. So, this is actually a quality game here because, they were 1-3, but these teams are pretty good. I mean, both teams have great, they have great quarterbacks with Cam Newton, obviously, and the Buccaneers quarterback and Jameis Winston. So, this game, it's not like the Buccaneers have been blown out either. I'm pretty sure they've had some pretty, quality games. So, this, if there's another, game, momentum-changing, game. Yeah, I feel like this is the one.
This week, yeah.
I mean, and the Saints just I don't know what's happening right now.
Yeah,
it's still so early to talk about this. So it's like
exactly.
Well, in a couple of weeks, then we'll have a clearer picture. But as of right now, it's just like they better pick it up before it gets to that time.
Absolutely. So, I mean, again, like we mentioned earlier, Panthers to me are the biggest surprise because it's
a shame, to see because they do it's not like they did lose a lot of people, but it's more like they still have Luke Kuechly. They still have arguably the best quarterback in the league. Yeah. So they should be able to handle it, but their offensive line is getting exposed. Cam Newton has another concussion.
Yep.
So I mean, no matter what game you play, no matter what team it is, no matter who it is, it always depends on the offensive and defensive line. That's how I feel personally.
Yep.
Because, you see how the first game went between the Broncos and, Cam Newton, it was illegal shots, but he still got wrecked, and his offensive line should be ashamed.
Yeah.
And then, you continue with that? You continue that fashion and just keep letting them pummel your quarterback like that?
Yeah, you can't let them, that's the thing. You can't let teams just take shot after shot at your quarterback because it's going to take a toll on them.
Even if it's Cam Newton.
Yeah, especially someone like Cam Newton. He plays with a lot of emotion, so getting hit all the time is not going to make him happy.
Oh, yeah, by all means.
So, you just gotta protect him at all costs. Cause, even though he's bigger than the guys that are tackling him,
True. It doesn't matter at times because the offensive line is just not they're not doing their job.
Yeah.
So I feel like I think Rivera and Cam Newton needs to just sit their offensive line down and just say, listen, y'all need to. I don't know what happened, but y'all need to wake up because getting your quarterback hurt like this. That's not a way to keep your job. That's not a way to win this. It's not a way to win here because this is a grown man's league. You're gonna be like, yo, no, you cannot be playing so weak. They play as though they're like lethargic because they're the Panthers. I feel like some of them still feel as though they're the Panthers of last year, so they just take things for granted.
They feel like they're entitled to win.
And that's not the case because teams have come up and smacked them in the mouth, and they're just sitting there shocked. So,
and even going back to the mental thing a little bit that we were talking about earlier, I feel like Cam Newton, with how he is, whether you like him or not, I feel like he is trying to carry the team by himself. He's a fantastic athlete. He's one of the best athletes that the league has ever seen.
Yeah.
But no matter how good you are, you can't do it on your own.
Yeah, you really
can't. So
even if the offensive line lets up one sack a game, at least if you're you have to at least put up some type of effort because Cam Newton can't be getting hit like this. I know he runs out of the pocket and everything, but still, you just gotta be men. Be a man. Come on. But
that's what it comes down to.
It's a shame. But let's talk about this final division, the NFC West. So you have the Rams leading the division. Actually, the Rams. 3-1. The Seahawks.
I didn't even realize that.
3-1. Cardinals 2-3. They won last night against the 49ers. 49ers. I'm gonna start with the 49ers first because I feel as though this is something that I need to say. Yo, let the Kaepernick play, man. Let him play because who is it? Blaine
Gabbert. I saw that this morning.
Is getting he's just doing awful.
I just saw this morning. It's funny that you bring that up. Through his first, he has the worst record of any quarterback in history through the first 40 games. 9-31.
That is
9-31.
That is a shame.
How do you start a man who has that record? You take back the 1 win and 4 losses. That's still a horrible record. He only has 8 wins through his first 35 career games. That's awful.
I don't know how to.
So bad.
Okay, the real I will understand. I understand why they don't play. Why they haven't played Kaepernick because the surgeries, all this stuff that's happened during the offseason. Yeah. Even with the controversy with what some people will be like. Some people may not be down for what he's talking about and kneeling during the national anthem, but still let the man play because this guy is a quality quarterback at the end of the day. Granted, he was off a couple of years, but he still took this team to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. He still dominated this league. He was still Kaepernick, flexing a bicep in the end zone. So I feel like you should at least, try to start, implementing Kaepernick because if you lose another game, it's over. Come on, you're already down this. This is something that is bad because it's not like every other team is bad. It's just you that are bad in this league. So,
and it's even worse because it's Chip Kelly's first year there, and he has a wonderful reputation in Philadelphia. Let me tell you that.
Does he really?
No, he's awful.
I was gonna say everyone hates him. I hate him.
Everyone kicked him out the door.
I felt bad for what he did to Shady and Deshaun. I was like, jeez, man.
He just Philadelphia will never forgive what he gave away half our team. He gave away half. Don't even get me started on that. He gave away half the team. But luckily, now I don't think The 49ers let him do that because in Philadelphia he was the GM and the coach.
Yeah, no.
I don't think San Francisco let him do that.
Like,
I don't think anyone will ever let him do that again.
As they should. Like, what? I mean, you look at Deshaun Jackson. You look at who else was traded?
Oh gosh, Macklin, Jackson, Foles, McCoy. He let go I forget what his name is. It was one of our best offensive linemen. Then someone else picked him up, and I think it was the Broncos. I forget, but it was one of our good linemen, and everyone was like,
"What are you doing?" And it seems like every one of those players that he traded are now having fantastic. It's like they have their careers. Like
McCoy's doing.
Got him one fantasy league. I'm very happy about that.
I mean, other than injury, he's doing well.
Yeah.
Macklin, other than an injury, he's the Chiefs' best receiver.
Yep.
Deshaun again has hurt, but still a crazy deep threat in Washington. Who else? Foles.
I don't know.
Let's forget about him. He went to the Rams, but I don't think
is he starting? Yeah. No, who's starting?
No, it's not Foles, and it's not Goff.
No, it has to be one of them. I need to check this.
Yeah,
man.
check that out. But still, I mean, just to go back to the 49ers a little bit, Chip Kelly, he needs to snap back into it. You already lost your job in Philadelphia because you're making these mediocre decisions, and you're letting this court. Now, I understand that he believes that Gabbard is the starting quarterback and whatnot.
Yeah.
But if this continues to happen, you need to make adjustments to try and win football games. And that was one thing that Chip Kelly never did, was make adjustments. Never. He went with one system, and it was either his way or no way. That was the thing about Chip Kelly. And that's why he got ran out of Philadelphia.
Yeah. And it was Chase Keenan.
Chase Keenan.
Yeah, Keenan's doing this thing.
Yeah.
So, forget Foles. Yeah. But the Cardinals, I'm very happy for the Cardinals winning this game because, now the Cardinals are a quality team. And it's even without Carson Palmer and you put in Drew Stanton, the ball is still being moved around. I mean, Grant. Who was shut down? Johnson. I think. Is that his name? Oh, I'm forgetting the other receiver's name. But Fitzgerald balled out like usual. I mean, you know what? I love Fitzgerald because it's
he's a man.
It's not. He's not like the other receivers in the NFL who are legendary. He's not. He's just to himself, quiet. He'll give you
Yeah.
He's the man. And to see him He ages like fine wine with it too, because he just balls out every year.
He's so good.
He's so old, and yet he's still like mossing people. It's gosh.
And what was it last year? All year he dropped 2 passes.
He is so efficient because I don't know what you've seen him
the Eagles have already. Jordan Matthew dropped 2-3 passes a game.
Yeah, I hate Jordan Matthews, man.
I like him. He's a good receiver, but
I have him on my fantasy team. He screwed me over.
He's just got some butterfingers.
He really does.
When it counts, too.
When it counts, absolutely. So the Cardinals. The reason why I have so much hope in them is because they have such a good defense.
Yes.
Because you have Tyrann Mathieu, you have Pat Pete, you have Calais Campbell, you have that team has no excuse to not they should be making a push in this in the Super Bowl. If there's one team I would love to see win a Super Bowl, it is definitely the Arizona Cardinals.
Absolutely.
Just because Larry Fitzgerald, he deserves it more than anyone else in the world right now.
Absolutely.
And you know what? If he keeps doing what he's doing, he should.
Yeah.
But, he does have some competition because of the Seahawks, the Rams. Speaking of that, the Seahawks. Seahawks doing what they're expected to do.
Yep. Yep.
They've been consistently good since when? 2010, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, this is nothing of a shocker. They just got to keep playing like they're playing. But the Rams. Okay, Ole.
Where they come from.
Okay, y'all got a team now. Y'all got a team. Todd Gurley, Chase Keenan. What do you if they keep playing like this? They should keep playing like this.
Yeah.
But such a young team. You never know. You never know what's going to happen with these Rams. I feel like this though, NFC West is also going to be another insane division. But I hope the 49ers wake up, man.
And
do.
in theory,
yeah.
the Rams have the had the number one draft pick in Jared Goff.
Yeah.
You would think that eventually he'll get his shot.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll, in theory, because he was drafted in front of Wentz.
Yeah. But you're happy about it.
Absolutely. Like, in theory, he should do better, but...
Well, I think you need. I think it's best to give some quarterback, some people, not just quarterbacks, but any position. You got to give them time to,
Yeah. See, that was the big question mark in Philadelphia. Like, did Wentz get enough time? Especially because he missed 3 of the 4 preseason games with a rib injury. So that's what I was scared about, but apparently Wentz wasn't scared about it, which is fine. I was probably more nervous for him than he was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if Jared Goff can perform at Wentz's level, not to compare him to Wentz, but if he can perform at that same level, the Rams could be something to be reckoned with.
Well, I think right now, stick with Keenan. Definitely stick with him because what?
Absolutely, yeah. If you're at a 3-1 record,
you're doing something right here.
You should not change anything. Yeah. For any team.
Yeah, by all means. But to cap this off real quick, we gotta talk some Del Val football. Is there any? So we're playing Wilkes this week. Have you? Do you know? Have you?
Absolutely. I'm on the sidelines.
Oh, okay. You with Harry?
I am the water boy.
Oh, man.
You're listening to yours truly, the Del Val water boy.
Hey, man. It's a pleasure to have you with us. But you know what? I'm not even gonna lie here. Last year, the Wilkes team did put a sour taste in Del Val's mouth because stop us at the 1, 3 times. It's something that just makes you, cringe. It's something that Coach Greco has been stressing to the team this entire week because, watching that game and when you actually sit down and just watch what happened, it just it just makes you depressed because. Yeah. Like that was like when, Del Val lost all of its chances. And you know what? After losing to Albright, which I'm not even going to discuss because...
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. But if they can't lose again. From this point on, Del Val football cannot lose another game.
Yep.
And you know what? It's not even it's not that that's a problem because, we've seen what this team can do. We've seen how this team can dominate. Man. So I have nothing but the utmost faith in this team.
Yeah,
I might be a little biased because I play, but you know what? I have... When you see this team, when you practice with this team every day, when you see how the coaching staff comes into work every day, I feel as though when we lost to Albright, more of a fire started to pick up.
Absolutely.
And I mean, we shouldn't have lost because that game was close, and they won at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I feel as though when it comes to Wilkes, we should treat them as though they are a good team. So you got to treat them as if they're a good team. Yeah. But you also have to understand that this is Del Val football.
Absolutely.
This is the team. This is the team to beat in the MAC conference. Yeah. So you know what? I'm calling it. I'm calling it dub.
Yeah.
I'm calling dubs.
Oh, absolutely.
Dubs for days. I mean, we're biased, of course, but you know what? We're calling dubs here.
I'm right there with you. Other than the Albright game, again, they played well. Played a tough opponent really well.
Even with the Albright game, they played great. It's just more like it's just sometimes.
It just came down to one play. That's all it was. And it can go either way. But every other team, they just blowing them out of the water. LVC, whew, that was ugly.
Yeah, I
just everybody, and it doesn't. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're not out.
No.
But Albright has to lose. But
Albright does have to lose. But
so again, they can't lose either.
Yep.
Because if we win out, they lose. Then
it's just us. It's all us. Even no matter what. So but all we can focus on right now is just Del Val. So I have the utmost confidence in this team. I feel like this team's gonna excel and do what they're supposed to do when it comes to Wilkes and just come on. This team has overall, this team does have it all. The defense is just amazing. The offense is coming into its own now. You've seen that. Darden is doing his thing. Yep. The receiving core is getting more into their game more now. So I would not count out. Do
you-
not count out Del Valle.
never count
And
out.
you know what gets me even more upset? The fact that once we lost that game to Albright, we got taken down off the polls. We were 14th, 13th, 14th in the nation. Got taken off because of an L from Albright, and Albright is not. Albright might be one of the best unranked teams in the league in this country. So. It shows you that people want Del Valle to lose. People want Del Valle to lose. When it comes with the territory, when they show that swag, right? That's how that's how it should be. So all Del Valle needs to do is just dominate as they do, and keep the penalties low, move the ball, and they should be fine. Win on both aspects of the game. Special teams, offense, defense, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. I got faith. I got a lot of faith.
As we all should.
So I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah.
All right. I think
this
is it for this week. We will be back again next week with, I believe we'll be back with an even bigger crew next week.
Ooh, yeah, it should be fun.
Even more input from other sports fans from whatever they have to say.
Can't wait to hear Harry yelling at everybody.
Oh, man.
All right.
Harry's something else. But, yep. This is it for this week, and thank you guys for listening.
Take it easy, guys.